most of our issues come from childhood wounding by definition. But it doesn't matter where you got them, they're yours now. And endless analysis of where we got them is not what pulls us out of them. It's standing and saying, I understand, regardless of what my pain was, my childhood wounding was that made me this way. What matters is that I get that I am this way. This is my character defect. It's not where you're bad, it's where you're wounded. We understand that. But if you meet anybody who's not an enlightened master on the road and they say you just see you display that behavior, they're not going to say, oh, poor darling, you must have been wounded as a child. They're going to say, oh, you were such a jerk, get me out of here. You have this here where, have you noticed this trend in the last few years? You're about to go into a meeting and somebody says to you, have you ever had somebody say to you, okay, now what's our intention for this meeting? How many of you have heard that one? What's your intention for this meeting? That is so sick. Because what it is we've turned relationships into transactions. Because if I have an intention for this meeting, that means that I'm programming my subconscious mind to basically manipulate you in whatever way necessary to get what I want from you. This is nothing positive. Whereas if I pour light on you in my mind before I even go into the meeting, bless you, the love in me, salute you with the love of God, the love in you. I don't say this, of course. But it's your thinking, then it creates a field of possibility, synergy, opportunity, win-win that would not otherwise be there. And I know in my life that there have been mistakes that I have made that many years later I'm talking to somebody and they're not going to make that mistake because of something I said. And I always think about that. I think, well, what if I hadn't made that mistake? Well, somebody else would have talked to them. Do you know what I'm saying? In both Judaism and in Christianity, there's a term, the small, still voice within. But unless you're practicing the quieting of the mind through a meditation practice, you can't hear the small, still voice for the mind. Because God will not force his voice into your mind. It is there should you desire it. So through meditation, you go to the gym, you do yoga, you do whatever you do cardio-wise, because you want to build strong physical muscles so you can move. You do spiritual exercise in order to cultivate stillness, in order to cultivate impulse control. Sometimes you probably do know sending that text is a bad idea, but you can't control your impulse to send it. So sometimes it's not that you don't know what God is saying, it's that you don't like what God is saying. The universe is going to show you what people who are not wounded in that area, how they handle those situations. And you are going to find yourself in a restaurant with someone who's a stranger, or at home with someone that you know. It could be anything, and you're going to witness a situation where you would get totally angry, but a person who doesn't have that particular wound handles it calmly and serenely. And you go, I had no idea that was even possible. That's not what was modeled for me as a child, or that person just wasn't denied whatever sustenance or whatever. And you will start faking it till you make it. And you will start imitating. Well, I saw a person who in this moment just spoke what they needed calmly, and everybody gave it to them. Wow. Right? And in time, it's a process, 3 days between the crucifixion and the resurrection, 40 years between slavery and promised land, you will become that person. And that's what it means when the women went to get his body, and the angel said, he's not there, he's risen, that you will be gone. Because that was a fractal of yourself. It wasn't even the real you. The real you is only loving. And then the day will come when someone will actually say to you, you know what I love about you? I love how you never get angry in stressful situations. And you'll be saying, oh, honey, if you only knew. You and angels behind you. There are angels above you and angels below. These angels, these thoughts of God, go with you wherever you go, for they reside within your mind. And so it is. together, we all say, amen. God bless everyone. Good night. Thank you. Thank you.